Good morning. How's the sound? We've got a new microphone messing around with. Hopefully I can just talk like this and everyone can hear me really well. It's 11. We're on time. Yeehaw. Alright, how's everyone's week been? Hopefully everyone is not going stir crazy. I definitely have to shout out to a lot of the restaurant people out there, and my heart goes out to so many friends and so many out there going through this. Words can never convey what I'm sure you're all going through, and I'm heartfelt sorry, and just know that we're behind you and backing you however we can and helping out however we can. It won't last forever. You know, we're all going to get through this, and we're all going to get out the other side, and things are going to be bigger and brighter and better for us all. So hang in there. Yeah. Just collect my thoughts. So today we are going to I'm gonna mess around with my music a little bit, but we're going to do cold brew. We had a request, I think last week, someone was talking about cold brew. Cold brew is, you know, we're heading into summer, and Florida's, you know, everyone knows Florida's hot AF, and we need to cool down a little bit, and it's also a fun way. It's definitely been a trend of late, actually. Cold coffee and cold brews and all that fun stuff has definitely been a trend in the younger generation for sure. We've seen it in our shops. I know a couple of our wholesaler customers definitely see a large majority of what they serve as cold brew and as cold drinks. So why not? You know, why not do cold brew? And it can be done in so many different ways at home. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start out this morning with a toddy. We actually, if you stay tuned with us, we've got a little surprise happening partway through this, and we're probably going to give away a whole toddy home cold brew system set. So hang with us. Yeah, we definitely will. But there's going to be a catch, of course. We want as many people as you know, friends, neighbors, even enemies. Let them know about Oceana Coffee. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know. Pass the word around. I'm just trying to tune into my music. I chose a station very Australian, and it's not letting me do what I want. It's gone to Queen, but let's see what we got. Although there's nothing wrong with Queen, of course, but it's not what I'm looking for. Start again. Andorra, come on. Let's go. Artists, maybe. So let's start with the toddy cold brew. The home system. We'll just roll with it. The home system comes like this in a little box, not very big. Awesome little kit. We've actually, even at Oceana Coffee, we still use this in the shop. We use this to brew our cold brew tea, for our iced tea, and we also use it for our decaf. So we use these systems in our shop, and awesome little system. Really, really simple, easy, consistent method you can get out of this. It makes concentrate, so it makes it even better. You can just put it aside. I've busted everything out already. In the kit you get two of the felt filters, a little plunger, bung, whatever you call these. Making sure not to...
That's a stopper.
Okay, stopper. I'm not quite bilingual on that. Just be careful about saying bung in Australia. Anyway, then you also get these days they're including a filter bag that helps make it a little bit more clean and a little bit more easy in the cleanup. But we don't use them. I don't think it really, honestly, really matters. And it comes with the instructions. We actually follow the instruction bar one hack that I've used for years and years. So it's always been fun, you know. Cold brew kind of blew up when maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It kind of became a thing. We've been doing this for 8-9 years in the shop, so it's a thing, you know. So anyway, we follow the toddy recipes for the most part, bar my own personal hack that I'll share with you guys today. I haven't let this out of the bag for a very long time, if ever, and it definitely brings a new element to making your cold brew at home. We're also going to cover another method we've played with before called the Japanese iced coffee. You can look that up, check it out. It's definitely a great little method. We're going to do that one later on. In the background you can see a whole nother method, a very cool one. I won this in one of the where was that? In one of the roaster skills I went to. It's a Hario cold brew, single cold brew drip style. And you can see, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but it's dripping at about 1 to 1.5 drips per second. So it's going to take a while. And that one's going to make it concentrate also, and we'll leave that do its thing and get back to that. Probably tomorrow we'll get back to that and see what's going on there. What did I use in that? I used actually used a natural Colombian coffee called El Bacon. Not bacon, balcon, but we'll call it bacon anyway.
We had bacon today.
What the hell? We had bacon! And the girls went all out. We had biscuits and gravy and bacon. Oh my goodness. So, what else are we going to do? We're also going to play and show you guys how to do cold brew in a French press. Super simple, easy, at home, nothing complicated about any of it. And all of these, remember all of this too, all of what we're doing in cold brew can be done for tea as well. So, and we also do, for those...
Prairie Lily Coffee Roasters just asked if it was Canadian bacon.
Canadian, eh? I don't know, actually, was it?
No,
It
we
wasn't?
wish.
Canadian's always
More
good.
like Australian bacon.
Yes!
We don't get any of that here.
No, that's completely different. Anyway, we do tea. So for those of you who don't know, we actually do tea at Oceana Coffee. We buy it from a merchant out of Germany, right? Our merchant's out of Germany. So it's direct from the farm to our merchants and then to us. We've got some amazing teas. Green Dragon, Butterfly Pea tea. If you haven't played with that one, that's the purple one. The blue one that turns purple with lemonade. Amazing tea. We got some iced tea blends, fruit colladas, and we've also got the regular as well. English breakfast, chai, and so all of those are available at both of our shops. They're all in these little these 4 ounce.
They vary in size because the teas weigh different. So a pound of butterfly tea is looks like a body bag. And a pound of English breakfast, will fit in that container right on the counter. So.
See, now my music's back. You can hear this guy in the background, Diesel, Johnny Diesel, Johnny Diesel and Injectors, very Australian.
George is in the house.
George, buddy. So Johnny Diesel was what I was in my mid-20s and just listening to. Love the music. It's very my style. It slides. So it's my kind of music. Anyway, this is all the reason it's in these packs also, and the reason what Amy was saying there that it doesn't weigh as much is because it's all whole leaf. This is not the dust swept up off the floor. This is the real deal. So you guys want to switch up your tea program, this is definitely where it's at, and delicious too. So check it out. Back to the toddy. This one makes what does this one make? How much does this one make? This one makes about
7 cups, I think.
7 cups of concentrate, right? And when we do iced coffee, or when we do the cold brew that you guys get off the tap, we do this on a so we do this in a weight ratio or even in an even volume ratio. We do a 1 part coffee concentrate to 2 parts water, so it's palatable. Coffee concentrate, this is our coffee concentrate. You can see that you can't see through this. Like this is
Jet fuel.
This is jet fuel. One 8 ounce cup of this equals nearly 800 milligrams of caffeine. So a regular 8 ounce cup is about 150. So
to sign a waiver before
Yeah,
you break that.
if you want some heart palpitations and you want to jack it up a notch, just like
That's for George.
that's
Yeah.
that's cold brew concentrate. That's cold brew concentrate. So what we're gonna do is go through the recipe here with the toddy, and this is what we end up with. So we'll cut that up later up and show you guys what's going on there. But over to the recipe. I'm actually gonna follow this. I've got some coffee already ground up, ready to roll. I followed the directions. I've got to put the bung in, or what do you call it?
Plug.
The plug. This.
Oh my god, I'm gonna put that in the train.
Put it in the bung hole.
We're gonna,
I'm putting that in the
I'm
train.
going to look up the definition of bong for everyone because
Oh, I wish my bossy mate, if the boys back home were listening to me now, they'd be rolling. Anyway, so we'll get that in. We'll make sure it's in there nice and tight. I'm not going any further with that one. So directions. Oh, that's what it calls it, a stopper here. So there you go. I'll be bilingual. There we go. And it's got two methods. It's got one with the bag and one without. I'm going to run with the one without, of course. And see how we go and see what it says here. I was going to use just a regular measuring jug so you guys can do the same thing at home. I'm also running the scale, so you know it is what it is. I always run with the scale at home. It'd be great for you guys if you do. If you don't, we can roll with a scoop. That it actually comes with a scoop too. So actually that's not it's not for that. It's for that. So let's get into it. What we normally do. Make sure it's all put together. Make sure there's a little felt filter in the bottom. I'm not sure if you guys can see little felt filter. This guy here, I already pre-rinsed and pre-washed this one. Always make sure you pre-rinse and pre-wash this one. Also at the end of this, a little hack for you guys. What you can do is once you've all done and brewed and you've cleaned out the next day, because we say 16 hours is what we lay this all down for. The little hack is to grab this, wash it out. Put it back in the little Ziploc bag and stick it in your freezer for the next day. It helps keep it fresh, helps keep it going moldy or any of those crazy things. So you just stick it in a little Ziploc bag and stick it in your freezer. It's good to go for the next time you want to use it. It comes with two, and they last quite a while. You know, you'll know when they're all full of the oils and the sediment. You can time, and they're cheap. You know, you can just throw them out and pick them up next time. Oh,
he's reading.
Yeah.
Gotta use
It's mail.
all that brain power. Was Mark trying to call him?
He's been trying to call him. It's
Mark?
alright, Mark's mad at you. I'm just kidding.
He hasn't tried to call me. Mark Michelson.
Yeah. I thought maybe you wanted to call you right now and be on your.
He wants to go live. Wants to go live with me. Mate, what's up? Anyway, hope your knee's doing well. I was going to tag you on some of the Coffee Fit lunges, but then I thought about the knee. All right, let's keep me focused.
Cold brew.
So cold brew.
How did you grind this cold brew?
Cold brew. We always grind cold brew large, like for French press. Actually, is the best grind for cold brew. And the reason that is because it is steeping for so long that like we've spoken about in the last couple of weekends, and the last couple of days, is that the size of the grind particle, because it's under extraction for so long, it has to be. You don't want mass amounts escaping, from the smaller grinds. A lot more surface area contact, higher extraction. You kind of want to,
right?
yeah, and we're going to be longer, so you want to just lengthen it out a little bit. You don't want it all to come out. And like I've said before, one of the other things that there's a bell curve that during extraction that there's a peak optimization and a peak time of all the really good things coming out, and then there's a point where some of the not so good flavors come out towards the end. So when we're doing cold brew, actually when we do cold brew, the curve flattens out quite dramatically. In hot coffee, it's on the timeline, it's kind of like this. With cold brew, you stretch the timeline by, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 times, and so the bell curve lays out a lot more. So that's one of the beauties of, and I'll go backwards and forwards along the way. One of the benefits and one of the beauties of cold brew is that it extracts it doesn't get to extract those not so pleasant flavors because of it's not using heat. Now there's a little bit of a contradiction in what I'm going to show you guys and what I just said, but there's a reason and there's a method to my madness about how we're going to deal with that. So let's get it. I'm going around. So I need to weigh out some coffee. And the recipe calls for, out of this one, the recipe calls for 340 grams or 12 ounces. So at Oceana, you can buy our cold brew blend. You can buy our cold brew blend directly off the shelf. Well, actually, it's never usually on the shelf. You got to ask for it. So if you want our specific cold brew blend, come and ask for it. Otherwise, there's some great coffees that do.
You are on a level this morning.
I am on a roll this morning.
Regroup and focus.
I'm just gonna let it roll. I can't read. I can't do it all. Where was I at? Oh, so there's a couple of great coffees that do.
Go very well in cold brew.
Bringing you childish immaturity every weekend.
It's too much fun. So I'm gonna do it again.
No.
So some of the coffees, Mexico is a really, really good one. There's 340. Look at that. It's a big pile. It's not a dude.
Stop.
Oh dear. So I'm supposed to put a cup of water in here. I'm gonna do that. Let's see. See if I can work this all out right now. You've all distracted me.
Mark's admiring your arms.
My arms? If that'd stay up, I could come and talk to everyone. Oh, what do you think of my shorts today?
Woo-hoo,
New
God
pants?
bless America.
So, let's hope that's enough. Such an amateur. Where was I at?
A cup of grounds.
So I got to put a cup of water. I've got to put a cup of water in there. So it says to fill the bottom with a cup of water. I'm just going to rough that. Let's see what we got here. 8 ounces. What's a cup? Oh, there's a cup. So we'll put a cup. Is this being seen? So we pour a cup in the bottom, making sure our bung is secure. Making sure our stop is secure, and then we'll sprinkle this. Without making a massive amount of mess. Let's see what I can do here. Alright, I'm gonna just gently work this in there. I'm only doing this because I don't want it to make a mess. So we get the grounds in there. This seems like a lot, but we want to check on that recipe. All right, so we've got the grounds in there. Now here's the hack. Here's the Oceana Coffee Scotty hack that we've been doing for years and years and years. I'm going to talk a little bit of theory about it. Guys like Mark out there will attest to what I have to say or not, depends. But what I do, and the reason I do this, I add 1/4 of the whole brew. I add as boiling water or as hot water, as water at 205 degrees roughly. And the reason is because the coffees that I use in our cold brew blends, one of them is a very bright, fruity, fruit forward, nice acidity, beautiful coffee. So to wake that coffee up, because when you do cold brew, like I said to you before, you don't dissolve everything that's in those coffees. It just doesn't happen because of the temperatures don't interact with the coffee the same at 204 degrees versus room temperature. So to wake some of those nice sweetness, those fruit acidities, and these sugars and those parts of the coffee elements that don't get woken up in the cold, I wake them up. I wake them up using hot water. So this method is, lots and lots of people think it's all secret and it's all their new way and so cool, but it's actually called a flash brew method. Two things I'm going to do here. The other part of this is so here's the other part. Look, I'm going to give you guys all sorts of secrets today, I tell you. What's the best way? Look, I'm at home. This is my kitchen. I'm going to use my hands, alright? So what happens? I'll do me. I'm already doing me. I think I'm on a roll today. Yeah, of course I wash them. I've washed them about 10 times, sanitized them. I've even had them in pure alcohol. So we're going to just do that. And the reason, there's another reason for that part. I won't put the
Don't
ones
put
on
it
the So, get this ready. The brew is about, what is it? It says here 7 cups, 56 ounces. I'm going to do about 14 ounces of hot water. So it just boiled. It's off the boil about 30 seconds now. So I'm going to bang in here about 14 ounces.
We got a comment about your shirt, by the way.
Oh, we did?
Mm-hmm.
What do we get? See, is it focused up there?
Somebody loves it. Yeah, you can see it all.
See the bottom? Some parts are still in working order. So, yeah, guess the year, guess the model. All right, so we've got 14 ounces of hot water. What we're going to do is we're going to pour it around like a pour over. So what we're aiming to do is we're aiming to get this to bloom. Like we've talked about on many of the brewing methods, we pour this around, we're around, and we've woken this up. All right, so we've got it to bloom. We'll give it a little paddle, make sure we get as much of the coffee immersed in that as possible. But we don't do it for very long, so 30 seconds to a minute tops. And then what we're going to do is we're going to quickly add some. We're going to add some. I just want to rough this, measure it up.
That's cold water.
That's cold, ice cold water. All right. So there's 2 cups. We're going to get that in there. What we're aiming to do right now is to stop the extraction, to stop the hot extraction. So there's 2, 4. This will be 4. Ice is okay in there, of course, because it's going to be melting anyway, so it goes towards the whole show. 2, 4. We put 1 in the first time. So we're up to about 6, and then we're going to go here for 7, and we're going to roll that in there like that. So that is around about 7 cups. We'll help break this up. What I want to make sure is when you do this process, you'll find that the coffee clumps up and keeps dry pockets within itself. So just give it a little bit of a paddle around, move it around, make sure you're getting full extraction, make sure all of the coffee is doing its thing. And you can see, you look at the top of that, you know that it's beautiful and starting to do its thing. And I can tell you that it is back to room temperature. So from boiling water, throwing the ice on it, we've stopped. What we did was we quickly captured the hot extraction method. So we've captured those nice acidities, we've captured those nice sweetnesses that are being dragged out of the grounds, and we've captured that and we've stopped it. So now the process is that slower, longer extraction of happening for actual cold brew, and the low end acidity. So it's bringing out a lot of the flavors and a lot of the solids into the brew method, into the extraction. And that now we're going to, the other part of this is we're going to put this in the fridge. We actually don't have to, this one doesn't get used. This is the other part, beautiful carafe, toddy. That's for tomorrow. So what we do is we go and lay this down, and we might have 12 hours, 24 to an hour. So we'll pull this apart later on today. But 16 hours. What we normally do is we put this in the fridge now, and then we put it down for 16 hours. If you want, you can put a little bit of I don't know, what do you guys call that? Glad wrap, cling wrap. You could even put cheesecloth and rubber band over the top if you wanted to. Make sure when you put it in the fridge, I would suggest putting the saran wrap or the cling wrap over it, because then it seals out any of the other flavors floating around the fridge. So if you've got, if you've just done a meatball casserole with tons of onions and garlic, this will take it on. So,
can you show everybody where the water level is in there? I think you did on the. So.
It's up to it. Actually, it's right here. So it's
about where the ring.
Yeah. So this actually comes apart. This comes with this. So this is a separate piece, a little handle. So where this actually pushes up to the edge is a good guide to where you want your water level as well. So lots of different things. I'm trying to make it easy for you guys at home. Some don't have the fancy bits and pieces and the tools. We don't have to. It's purely a cup measurer. Using the ring around the edge of the toddy will actually do it.
How much coffee actually went in there? Was it 12 ounces?
Yeah, so I put 12 ounces.
So 12 ounces is actually one whole bag.
Yep. Yeah, so like I said before, when you guys come in, I'm not going to do the doo-doo again, am I? But, so you can...
You do you.
I did. I know. Come in, buy a bag of our cold brew blend, and it's going to be 12 ounces. So the bag is perfect for this style of brewing. We'll grind it for you. We'll grind it nice and coarse. We can grind it. You guys can take it home. You can make it straight away. And the crazy bit is these toddies are $45. That's it. $45. And so the kicker is, yes, it's a whole bag of coffee, but you're making concentrate. So you're making concentrate for the household, and you're going to end up yielding. What's our yield on these usually?
Well, if you make 7 cups of concentrate, that should get you, it's a 1 to 2 ratio, so that should get you
21, 28.
Yeah,
so you're getting 28. You're getting around 30, right? So you're getting around 30 ounces total.
This is a great question. How long does it stay good in your fridge?
Oh, actually, I can safely say it will easily do 7 days. It will probably do longer, especially if you put it in. So this carafe is what you pour the concentrate into when you're all done, but it also has a stopper, so it keeps it fresh. Actually, probably goes that way. So this you can hear it actually pushes down, and it makes it. We all want to say bless you to Amy. Bless you.
Bless you.
No, she's not sick. So it actually pushes down. You can hear the oxygen getting pulled out. All right, so that's the most important thing, which will give me another sidetrack subject. Oxygen is the enemy of coffee. No matter whether it's whole bean, ground, cold brew, anything. Oxygen, O2, and oxidization is actually the enemy of coffee. It is what sends it stale. It is what sends it bad. And actually, we've done lots and lots of experiments over the years in regards to gases and gas inclusions in coffee. The very first and easiest way to send coffee to a really not so tasting beverage is to add CO2. It really upsets it. Anyway, this is how the kit. This comes in the kit. Once you've made your concentrate, into the glass jar, into the fridge. Look, I would say safely 7 days. It probably lasts longer, honestly. But like I also said, I know households that this doesn't last a week. So, you know.
Yeah, it'll make 168 ounces. So once you've made it, you've got 7 cups of cold brew.
Concentrate.
Yep. That makes 21 cups of ready to drink.
Perfect.
And that's 168 ounces.
See, that's why I have these women here, because they do all the brain work, and I just carry on like a goose in front.
You just look pretty.
I don't do that. Let's not get carried away. So there you go. So that's the toddy system. We're going to put this guy aside. He's ready to roll into the fridge. Shoot.
We did have a question about milk. Can you also dilute this with milk?
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's a great question, honestly, because it leads on to more. So in the early days, when you make concentrate, this can be anything you want. This can be added. You can use this in cocktails. We've actually used it in cocktails, and we're going to talk about that. I actually have made and do make old fashions with coffee beans, and I also do make a mint mocha old fashioned that I really like, and I make it on cold brew concentrate, muddled mint leaves, and cacao nibs. But that's another story. You can make it. You can add this to hot water, so you can have You can have this in the morning in a cup with just boiling water, and so you can have Americanos or brewed regular hot coffee. You can do it with milk. You can do it cold. You can do it with alternatives. You can do it with oat milk, anything.
You can also steam your milk. You can
actually you can do like a cafe au lait on a concentrate. So there's, and also if I was going to be that was a bit silly. I think I was going. If you've got an espresso machine, you can just steam it up and it's going to be hot. But anyway.
It's okay. Yeah.
So can we delete that bit?
Yeah.
Anyway, so
delete.
So yeah, you look. Once you make this into concentrate, you can use it for whatever it is you want, and you can actually put it into a canteen, take it camping, and that'll be a great way to, then you've got your coffee already on the run. You don't have to worry about taking grounds and trying to work out a method for brewing coffee out camping. You can just take it with you and add it to hot water and good to go. Add it to milk, cold drinks, the whole shooting match. The other thing that I was actually thinking about before we did this morning was that what we do in the shop is that we make, and if you've ever come and had cold brew in our shops, you always get cold brew with coffee ice cubes. And what we use the leftover coffee from your brew pot in the morning, we put that into regular ice cube trays, stick it in the freezer, and it's good to go. So then you're not getting any dilution when you're drinking your cold brew concentrate. So another thing, I know it sounds miraculous, doesn't it? We've been doing it for 8 or 9 years, so those little things. It's the little things, and it actually is the little things that make a big difference. So let's stick this aside. What do we want to see next? Let's do the. Do we want to do the Japanese Japanese iced coffee?
Yeah.
Let's do that. So another way to do it, nice simple brewing method. We're going to put this guy aside. Heat up my water over there. Get my scale. So this one.
We are typing the same thing at the same time.
That's because we share a brain.
So this one here is going to be. It's called a Japanese. Can this be seen? Is that we're good?
Yeah.
It's called a Japanese iced coffee, and there's a reason. So there's the definition, and people don't realize cold brew and iced coffee are completely different and similar. The difference is cold brew is, and this is where I'm going to contradict myself. Cold brew doesn't come in contact with hot coffee, or doesn't get brewed as a hot coffee. It all just gets put together at room temperature, and it goes to, that's a distraction.
I'm sorry.
It goes to the fridge and gets to do its extraction. So where was that? Iced coffee is actually hot coffee chilled. So if that makes sense, hot coffee, iced coffee actually has to go through the full hot brew process and then be put on ice, and that's iced coffee. So it makes sense when you say it that way. Iced coffee. It's been coffee that's been brewed and then put on ice. The other method is cold brew. Cold brew is getting put in together all at room temperature. There's no hot water involved except for when you do it my method, and then it's flash brew. Then we put it all down, we cool it all down to room temperature, then we put it in the fridge and away we go. So there's the two definitions for anyone who was interested. I am going to use, what coffee do we want to use for this?
Limu.
Limu? Yeah, let's use Limu. Limu's really cool.
What's
really cool.
Limu gonna taste like?
We're going to use Limu because it's a natural Ethiopian. I love them. We're going to use it because it's going to be nice and fruity. It's a fruit forward, tropical fruit style, natural processed, medium to light body, and a light chocolate flavour. Limu's been with me for many years. It's done well by me for competition wise in coffees. We'll bust it open. This method is the same as hot, though the only difference is that you have to substitute 50% of your water with ice, and because ice is water, you can just use the same weight. So we're going to use. Are we going to do?
Eversus wants to know where your jammies are at. He's going swimming today, Eversus. Swimming in the cold brew.
Sundays for jammies.
Sundays jammies, dude. Maybe I won't go. Okay, so
This is a family show, remember.
Chemex. We're going to use a Chemex. Maybe we can double this. This about fit. Won't this fit? No, we'll stick to the one method. All right.
That fits 1 liter or 34 ounces
34
total.
So I'm going to double it just for fun. So our brew ratios are 17 grams of coffee, 325 grams. So I'm going to make 34. We're going to grind up 34 grams of coffee. We'll actually do a little bit extra. Our end goal is going to be 650 grams of water. So before we get carried away with our coffee grounds, we need to put in some ice, and let's see if I've got. I was looking for the tongs. Let's see how much I got here. So we'll zero this out, and I'm looking to add 325 grams of ice. Throw it in here. 270. That'll do. Actually, I've gone over just a little bit, but we'll leave that there. The reason we do that is because we're already, so it's going to be water, it's already going to be diluted in dilution. So the rest of it we're going to put up. We're going to put this in there. You can see all that, all the nice ice cubes. This is the same principle, really. So we're just doing a Japanese style iced coffee. Zero that out. Remembering that we're only going to add 325 grams of water. We'll stick our coffee in there. And we're set to go. Kettle's ready. Mr. Coffee, thank you. Mr. Coffee kettle, see? Look at that. Nice gooseneck kettle.
Mr. Coffee.
Mr. Coffee, mate. Alright, and here we go. So, same method. You know, we do it as our pour overs. We do the first 100, 150 grams as the bloom. Let it settle there. And as you can see, straight away, you know, we're making space. We're making our coffee brew Japanese iced coffee. So this is a really simple way to reuse your pour overs, to use your Bodum pour overs if you come and buy them from us. There's the Bodum set. You can do the exact same thing with a Chemex. You can do the exact same thing with a Hario pour over. So this method works all across the board. Oh yeah. Sorry for my silence, one of my favourite songs. Anyway, so, get this in here. We'll continue to keep the hot water rolling down. We're at 250, we'll let it rest a little bit. And it made this method is very, very, very cool. Especially using a coffee like this, it becomes really floral and really fruity and really, because you're capturing those flavors really nearly instantly. Yo.
What's your water temperature for your pour overs?
Always 205, 204 to 205 is the perfect water brewing temperature across all mediums for coffee. We always aim, and that's a big thing in the industry. You know, like I've talked about before, the consistency is massively important, but the industry overall, we shoot for 204 to 205 in our brew temperature. Water boils at 212, so if you leave it, you know, if you're just at home and you've got a regular kettle like I have back there, just let it rest for 30 seconds. You know, by the time 30 seconds has passed, it has come down to those temperatures that are ideal for brewing. Great question. Always. Throw them at me. Also, while I am thinking of this and while we're on the last 15 minutes thereabouts, the game today is Oceana's always looking for more customers and more people to spread the word and to help us get out there. And so today, the competition or the way for you to win a Scotty cold brew home system, on us, of course, we're giving it away, and we can deliver it locally and we can ship it to you no matter where you are. Is right now, jump on both Facebook and Instagram, tag 5 friends that you know don't use Oceana Coffee right now. Lay them up in the comments, throw them at us, and we'll do a random pick. Tomorrow we'll announce the winner and do the random pick, but have at it. 5, go. Throw it at us, see what we got. Anywhere in the country. You can be friends, relatives, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, enemies even. Don't care. Tell them about us. So anyway, that's the Japanese cold brew method, iced coffee method. We'll let it roll there a little. Me personally, I actually love this method. It's one of my favorites, and it's something I always forget to do. We'll let the ice melt away there, give it a bit of a stir up, and if you ever, sometimes when you do an iced coffee and you do it on, and you just pour a brewed coffee on ice, it doesn't taste great. You know, it doesn't. Ultimately, the coffee has to be really, really good as a brewed coffee. Like, it has to be excellent as a brewed coffee to become a really good iced coffee method. But when you use an excellent coffee over ice, you capture the little nuances so much more. And like this coffee here, it's gonna be floral and fruity, and it's gonna be in that. It's gonna be like a I was thinking of that. Like you girls last night were trying this new tonic and new.
It had elderflower.
Elderflower. My God, some of the flavors in there. Anyway, so great method. We'll set that aside. We'll let it do its thing. I'll get into that a bit later on today when I'm working on my car. What else? What are we up to?
15-minute warning.
15-minute warning. What else? Throw some questions at it. What do we want to hear? What do we want to know about? French press. French press. I'm going to go back to our cold brew. Our French press recipe is no idea, whatever it is. Let me zero that up. What do we run? 32 grams, I think, roughly. 32 grams for an 8-ounce cup.
Yes.
So
450 water.
same. So this is actually what you can do is you can even double this recipe. So yeah, 64 grams for 900 for one of these big boys. But what you can do is, and it's the same. So the trick with this one is, and you can use my methods too. You know, we can throw this in here, and we talk about, what did we talk about, 64? Such good. Take me home. Music. Alright, so that's 64 grams. What we can do the same thing. You know, I talk about with you guys and with doing the flash brew and the cold water. Same deal. You know, if you want to do that, please try it out, check it out. But it's a great method. What do we say, 900? So we're going to put about, on this time around, I'll see what I've got in here. We'll probably put about 200 of the hot water. It's below optimum brewing temperature right now. You know, this is probably down around 190, but still, you can see it's still super hot.
For the people at home who may not be familiar with what a French press grind setting is, can we talk about coarseness? I think it's pretty safe to say you can go almost all the way coarse on your grinder for cold brew and French press. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's more, you know, like we talk about with drip filter, it's more of that sugar. It's more of a sugar grain sized granule, and in the cold brew, it's much more chunky. It's like a coarse salt. If you ever buy coarse salt, so it's more of that style. So I've done the hot water. Pour in the cold water. This is still icy cold from having the ice cubes in there earlier, and we're going to fill that up to 900. Splash more.
Meg just came on.
Miss Corrigan?
Yeah, I asked her if she could send us some of those donuts.
Oh, how were those ones you did the other day? Air fryer donuts. Anyway, so there we are, 900 grams of water.
They're not as good as Jupiter donuts.
Not as good as Jupiter donuts, that's for sure. So it's already down to room temperature again. And then this one's a really, really good one for home. Remember all of what we've been doing today, except for the Japanese cold iced coffee, they're all a concentrate. You know, so make sure you can either drink them straight up. That's completely your choice, or you can leave them and cut them with water and do whatever else you want to do. But the French press method, I actually only like to push this down halfway. Put this in the fridge. It's the same deal as our toddy. Put it in the fridge and let it sit for you know, who knows? You can always check out what flavor profile you want, but we would say at least 12 hours. And also remember, you're making only a small amount of this one too. So at least 12 hours in the fridge as it is. And then when you're all said and done, you can either leave it in there and pour it, you know, cut it with water however you want, or you can put it into a different or you can put it in a different container and store it aside. You know, same as our cold brew concentrate. How'd I do? Whoa.
Can I try some of that Japanese
Ooh, yeah.
cold brew there?
We aren't fully diluted, but so I'm going to use the spoon, hold back the ice. Actually, it probably wouldn't be bad to let some of it go anyway.
Do you want to talk a little bit about like a French press? Let's say someone doesn't have a scale at home. How would you kind of go about that for people who may be doing cups of water and you know what I mean? The tablespoon to cup of water method, you think?
Yeah.
Or?
So we worked out. So where would that little scoop go? So this little scoop. Let's do a quick experiment. Let's show everyone at home the conversion. We'll also use whatever I've got here in the drawer. Let's just throw it around and see what we got. So on average we can use it. So most everything I think we've got on our bags too, right? Like it's a tablespoon. So we talk about tablespoon. So on average, a tablespoon of coffee, depending on the grinds, whatever, equals around 12 to 14 grams. And you can see inside, I was just trying to wipe this out and see. The little Hario scoop has got measurements on the inside talking about, can't quite see. I know I can see 8, 10 and 12 on that one. But anyway, so let's do a quick, so for those who don't have the scales, I'm going to do a quick conversion. So I'm going to use 1 tablespoon. I've got my scale, I've zeroed it out, and I'm just going to do 1 scoop, one level scoop, and let's see what we end up with. 7 grams and a very coarse grind. So 7 grams per tablespoon, and that usually we talk about equating that to 4 or 5 ounces. We usually equate that to 4 ounces. So on the ratio scope, if you're just using home tools, 1 tablespoon to 4 ounces of water is a good brew ratio.
Half a cup.
Which is a half a cup.
And we have a lot of good questions coming in about the French press, because I think a lot of people already have that at home, which is great. When you let that sit for your 12 to 16 hours, are you diluting it the same that you would a toddy?
No, I don't think so. Honestly, when I've done it this way before, it doesn't end up as concentrated as the toddy. So I think you can probably do a 1-to-1. Possibly, I'd start with a 1-to-1, and then but it's like, remember, just remember that coffee is extraordinarily objective, personal, objective. I'm giving you guidelines. I've given you, I've been in the game a while. You guys have known that and heard that, and I'm not here to tell you how to drink your coffee. What I want to do is I want to share with you what I know. I want to share with you ideas and different methods of how you can do it at home. And I want to, my aim, this whole thing is all about you guys and how can I help you better understand what it is we do and have a better experience with your coffees.
And I think that's the beauty about cold brew is, you can make this concentrate and dilute it to whatever works best for you, which is nice. If you need a little extra pick-me-up, you know, maybe take a shot of it straight.
And we've done that. I've done that.
You put it in protein smoothies even. It's really good.
Actually, yeah.
After
So
a
there you go.
morning
So,
workout.
so for those for my CrossFit friends and fraternity out there, I have used it in pre-workout, and I have used it in post-workout, and I have we've used it when we've been in competition at our local gyms, and when we've been away and done competitions as well. So pre and post, it works really, really well. Throw the questions at me. I enjoy the question side of things, and
I think a lot of people are loving the French press because they have that.
Well, I just looked at, so if you took the measurements for the toddy, we used 7 cups of water, which is 56 ounces. We used 12 ounces of coffee. So that's like a 1 to 4.5 ratio. So if you're using 1 part coffee and 4 parts water, and you're gonna let that steep, you should end up with the same amount, the same kind of ratio that you did in the toddy, right?
roughly, but roughly.
Because a French press won't hold a full bag of coffee. That's why I'm saying that. So if you put 1 part coffee to 4 parts water and let it steep, do you think that would be a good?
Yeah, if you want to, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, like I said, you know, it's subjective, so, or objective. So, you know, each one of us have got different flavor experiences. Each one of us got different methods or different flavors that we enjoy, which becomes a whole another realm of tasting anything. But, you know, I like sweet, so different coffees will do different things for me, and I'll enjoy different methods, more than others, and so there's never a wrong answer, especially in coffee. You know, don't let other so-called experts steer you or make you wrong in any different or any way. You know, coffee's coffee, and what we always look to do is that if you're experiencing Oceana Coffee for the first time and you walk in, I want you to try an Oceana Coffee the exact same way as you would normally drink any other coffee anywhere else. So that means it's milk and 2 sugars, then it's milk and 2 sugars when you walk in the door Oceana Coffee. I want you to taste like for like. And so what we found along the way doing this is that lots and lots of people walk into us on a regular basis saying, oh my goodness, your coffee is the first one that I've been able to drink black. And so that's awesome, but that's not what I'm shooting for either. You know, I'm just looking to make sure you guys have a great experience and you guys get to learn some more things, and we get to use what we have at home and in the kitchen. And if this one's been a huge hit, then that's awesome. You know, and it's a great, simple, easy, and it's an easy cleanup as well. You know, the French press is such a versatile piece of equipment. Anyone can use it. They're pretty common and easy cleanup. My Japanese pour over.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. I surprise myself all the time. And actually, because we use the, it's a little bit different actually, because we use the wire basket. You can taste a little bit of the sediment in there as well. So there's a little bit more texture to the drink, and that's why it's cloudy as well. So use a paper filter, be a little bit more clean in the glass, and a little bit crispier in the flavor. So, we're done?
I think we're done.
Any questions? Anyone? Bueller?
What are we going to talk about tomorrow? We're going to do this again tomorrow. You're going to wear your jammies.
What do you want to talk about? Throw some ideas and some questions and some methods and madnesses and whatever else you want to come and have a chat with me about. We'll be here tomorrow, 11 o'clock. I think along the way we'll be announcing who won the toddy. Monday? What do you mean
we want
Monday?
them to share tomorrow as well.
Oh, okay. We'll announce Monday who wins the toddy. Mm-hmm. And then we've got a couple of the home hacks coming. We've messed around with doing milk, foaming milk, and we're probably gonna drag out that little home espresso machine too, right?
Yes.
Like a little budget orientated price point espresso machine, $40, $50.
Very budget. Very budget. We're gonna see if we can make a great espresso. We know it steams great milk.
Instagram. They give us an hour and that's it. Airways.
Instagram.
Keep talking. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm good. So that'll be tomorrow. We'll do a couple of hacks here and there. We'll think about what else we can roll. Coffee just becomes endless, and there's so many different bits and pieces we can play with. Who knows? I'm here. I'll be here tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe. Be good.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Have fun on Saturday. Get outside and enjoy the sun. Keep your distance. Whatever. I don't know what the rules are. I'll be out there working on my car today, finishing off that project. So have a great rest of the day, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Oh, that's my job. I gotta turn it off.
Bye for now.
Bye, guys.